Okay, everybody, are you ready? Today is going to be a life-changing event. What's really exciting is that men don't ever want to seem to learn about health. And what we're going to focus on today is on men's health. And what's really interesting today in the Wall Street Journal, I love the Wall Street Journal because I always learn information. It talked about vitamin D. Vitamin D gets its moment in the sun, and here's what it said. A study in the Archives of Internal Medicine last month found that men with low D had a higher risk for heart attacks. Other studies have showed linked low D with cancer of the breast, ovary, prostate, stomach, bladder, esophagus. Low levels of D have also been associated with high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes, periodontal disease. Okay, now, I know that everybody's on the vitamin D bandwagon. I really don't encourage a lot of people to take vitamin D because guess where the best vitamin D tablet in the whole world is? It's in the sun. So the research went on to say, are you ready for this? I love it. If you get 20 minutes of sunshine in New York City, 20 minutes of sunshine in New York City, that's the equivalent of 200 glasses of milk. So what would you rather do? 20 minutes in the sun? Of course you'd rather do 20 minutes in the sun. Now, what's also very fascinating is I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with people when it comes to vitamin D. This was in the USA Today, just yesterday. Kidney stone cases could heat up. Now, what I'm learning, what I understand, when you take vitamin D takes calcium from your intestines and it puts it in the blood. If you don't have enough vitamin F, which we like to call flax oil, it won't put the calcium in the skin. And what's going to happen to a lot of people, mark my word, it's already starting, we're going to have an epidemic of kidney stones within the next 2 to 5 years. Why? Because of all the vitamin D that we're taking. So you don't need vitamin D. Now I'm not saying you don't need vitamin D in the form of vitamin D itself, but you don't necessarily need to take vitamin D as a supplement. You need to be in the sun. So earlier today, I was driving over to my office and I saw absolutely no children outside playing. So what I want you to do is look around when you drive home from the office today. How many kids you see outside? I actually only saw one person outside on this glorious sunny day in northern Ohio. So a lot of what's going on is we're not out in the sun. So if you live in New York City, 20 minutes of sunshine, equivalent to 200 glasses of milk. That sounds pitiful, doesn't it? Now let's talk about men's health and what you need to know. Alright, we have about 15 bullets, and for those of you watching me on the internet right now, I'd like you to print these notes out. Males require, this is a very important fact, males require more omega-3 fats than females. 3 to 1. Now, you know I have written several books. One of my best-selling books is Dr. Bob's Guide to Stop ADHD in 18 Days. When I was doing that research, that's why I learned about fat. Young boys have a greater chance to have ADHD because guess what they need? More oil. So if you're watching this on the internet right now, for all of you that are here in the audience, all you men need more oil than women just because of how your machine operates. Now all of you should be taking at least 1 tablespoon per 100 pounds of body weight. Everybody in this room should be taking a minimum of a tablespoon a day. It's significant because the oil is important for your brain. I have a lady that was in the office today that was having some problems with her foot. Podiatrist, flax oil. You can take inflammation out of your body by adding flax oil. Now, they're going to tell you that some men may have some prostate issues with flax oil because of the estrogen in it. I have found that if you have enough minerals in your body, especially zinc and magnesium, which you get from greens, you're not going to have a problem with flax oil. I read that in research, okay? You don't hear me talk a lot about eating a lot of fish oil. Now, I'm not saying fish oil is wrong. I'd rather have you do flax oil, personally. Now, you have to watch fish today, because I get our fish oil from a certain lab that's not contaminated. So just because you're buying fish oil does not mean it's safe for you. And just because you're eating fish doesn't mean it's safe for you. And I would not encourage farm-raised fish, because farm-raised fish means they've been putting chemicals in those fish. And they've done also statistical research that farm-raised fish have less fat in it than ocean fish. So just as FYI, you need oil though. Okay, growing pains in young men. So you could have some grandchildren, your own children, your own sons. and maybe some of you can go back to when you were kids. I know when I was a kid, I had growing pains. I was a whiny kid, and my parents took to me all kinds of doctors. And you know what I had? I had a low thyroid gland. And I didn't know that then. I know that now. We've helped so many young kids today, males or females, but this is for young boys because they're very rambunctious. And if a little boy says, oh, my hip hurts, daddy, and then my knee hurts, and then my ankle hurts, you probably think you have a whiny kid like me. You don't. The child, especially if they have wide-spaced teeth, may need iodine. We have a product that we use called Iodoral. Iodoral. We also encourage Celtic sea salt. Now, listen to this. If you have a child at home, young male, does a lot of swimming in hot tubs and swimming pools. Swimming pools with a bromine, chlorine, and fluorine, especially the chlorine and bromine, can deplete the body of iodine. So you're going to get children that are going to have more growing pains possibly during the summertime when they're more active. They need calcium. Sesame seeds is good. Almonds are good. But iodine. We have a test called the urine iodine loading test that's also on our webpage. So I think you need to know that. Growing pains. But I want you to know as adult men, if you had growing pains when you were a kid, you probably had a low thyroid. And unless you had somebody who was smart enough to fix it, guess what? You still have a low thyroid gland. Wide-spaced teeth, high cholesterol, constipation, headache in the morning as the day goes on, common body signals. On the internet I have a great iodine 10-minute video. Also my book, Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. Now this is something that I didn't have to worry about when I was a child, and of course Pat and some of the other gentlemen in the room here didn't have to worry about when they were kids, was estrogen in the food. Estrogen in the food today affects men. Now it affects women too. But here's what's going on. If a young man has a lot of estrogen in the food, he's going to become effeminate. He's going to have feminine characteristics. Now, as an adult man, if you eat a lot of estrogen in your food, it'll affect your prostate gland. Where do you get estrogen in food? You get it in non-organic meat products. In other words, conventional meat. If you're going to budget your food to eat healthy today, you want to eat organic meat. Now, another item that puts estrogen in your food is the plastic liners in cans. I don't encourage canned food. Because canned food has a plastic lining and it's going to put estrogen in. If you're a man watching me on the internet right now, or any of you gentlemen, I want you to go home tonight and I want you to look at your bodies. If you have little red bumps in your bodies, they're called cherry hemangiomas. That is not good. A cherry hemangioma is a sign you may have estrogen in your body. And if you have high estrogen, you have a greater chance to have prostate problems. Very serious. Because guess what the last thing you want them to do? I'll do this just for the graphics. They grab a hold of your penis and they rotor-root it and they go rotor-root your prostate gland. Now, that is not a pleasant experience. That usually gets people's attention. So you want to make sure that you're avoiding conventional meat. So estrogen food in adults can create prostate issue. I have had patients that have had breast tumors because of all of this estrogen. Other hormonal imbalances can occur in your body. Now, milk thistle. Milk thistle is an item that we have in the office. It helps clean your liver up. Your liver is right here. You want to be eating your apple, beets, and carrots every day. You want to avoid conventional meat because conventional meat is going to have estrogen in it, okay? Next item is smoking. Men tend to smoke more than women. Now, when I was doing some research on this, it's very fascinating. In Japan, they have less cancer, even though they smoke more than we do, in the lungs because they take a lot of iodine. So this is not giving people the permission to go smoke cigarettes, but the Japanese, even though they smoke like unbelievable, they don't have as much lung cancer as we do in the United States. But we have an herb. It's called nicotine relief. Nicotine relief is an herb that helps create decrease the nicotine addiction you might have. You know what else? There's something called royal jelly. Royal jelly is a bee product. Royal jelly. They feed the queen bee royal jelly up to 1,000 milligrams a day. You can take 2 royal jelly capsules. That takes away the craving for cigarettes. Royal jelly, nicotine relief is awesome. It'd be a good way to stop the cigarettes. Okay? we're going to start and start.